Going on, my people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. This is the debate show ahead of the Manchester derby tomorrow. We've got a lot to discuss, people. Tactical analysis, whatever you want to call it. Debates will be flying in. Big up to everybody who's in here. Big up to Lewis for the raid. Big up to everybody who's locking in right now. Please subscribe if you're new. Smash the like button on the video. And yeah, guys, man, welcome to the stream. What a day of football, man. Brentford, well, they might be doing us a bit of justice, man, because we might not be maybe the situation of the weekend. I don't know unless Manchester United get embarrassed tomorrow. But Stuffy, how are you today, bro? Everything blessed?
Good man, good man. I hope Lewis, I see him in the comments. I hope he's good because that guy's struggling. So
they are.
So big up, Lewis.
Do what we did. Yeah,
they could have beating Brentford at home. It's for everyone, bro. But listen, big up Said for having. Big up to the guys here on the show. I know it's gonna be a good one. Everyone just buckle up in the comments. You know, stay ready. Hit that like button. Obviously, subscribe if you're new, and let's get the show on the road, Said.
Yeah, definitely, man. Danny, it's been a pleasure, man. I don't know if you see the games today, La Liga, Chelsea. It's been a crazy day, but Chelsea got beat Brentford 2-0. I mean, we're in the mud, but bro, they're fellow mud brothers, man. But how are you anyway, man?
No, I'm good. You know what it is, yeah? I like it. I looked at it, that fixture, I'm like, fuck, do I want to end my weekend? Do I want to end my weekend with Man United getting thrashed by City or start my weekend with Man United? I weren't sure, but after seeing the results today, I'm a little bit calm. I wouldn't say calmer, but I'm just like, it's nice seeing our rivals drop some points before we go into that game tomorrow.
Yeah, big game tomorrow, man. Adam, how are you, Professor, man? Everything all blessed?
Yeah, I'm good, man. It's been a while. Uni is just but everything's good, man. Everything's good. I hope everybody's fine as well.
Yeah, man. Got clean. You got a new camera, man. You got a new clean setup there, man. Looks fresh. I don't know if it's the light, the Wi-Fi.
The camera's at university, man. I just take it with me back and forth. Like it's not mine, but I just keep it with me every time.
Yeah, definitely, man. Griggs, man. Did you see Jude Bellingham today, man? What a player, man.
I did, bro. See, you know what's funny thing about Jude is the whole time I was slandering him the whole game, and then he just shut everyone up with just that one. I was part of that, like in the beginning of the year. I'm like, this guy's just not gonna sustain. But at some point, I just gave up. I'm like, yo, you know when someone has the if factor, the X factor, he's him. So like, you just gotta watch him. Just like, I wish that game was at the new camp though. It sucks that celebration was at their B tier stadium He deserves to be
Yeah.
at the big stadium. But nah, he's a hooper, man.
Nah, 100%, man. Listen, Gavi was pocketing him for most of the game, but listen, man, when you need to deliver, Bellingham delivers. And what will our team do? That's the question tomorrow. I start with you, Danny, man. How do we stop Manchester City? I mean, we're gonna go straight into it, man. There's no point, talking about it. How do we stop, man? Do we stop Manchester City from playing, or do we become the offender? On the offense, and we become the one that dictates the Man City. How do you approach this game? Because I think we're losing this game, but maybe other people might think we're winning this game. Danny, chat to me. What are you saying?
You get Ollie, McKenna, and Carrick back for a game. That's how you
Bro,
get. That's how you
they're
get a
doing
result.
bits.
That's
They're
how you
doing
get a
bits.
result. I'm not looking forward to the game side. We're not going to have the ball. We're going to go up in the middle block, press when we can, but mostly we're going to be in the mid block in it. If we're playing with a single pivot, the way that Ten Hag does this man for man thing in midfield, where his DM can end up anywhere, the guys ahead of them don't cover that space, and we just open passing lanes. I'm already having nightmares about the game. I hope Casemiro's fit, and I hope it's Amrabat and Casemiro in midfield.
Apparently, he might not be fit tomorrow.
I know
Apparently
he's in a race. He's on a fitness test. But listen, Erik Ten Hag,
fitness test.
listen, there's a lot of players that are injured that are playing right now. Yeah, just trust me. That all those players that you see out there are not fit anyway. So even if he has to do what he's been doing with other players and have Casemiro on injections, I want to see Casemiro next to Amrabat, because we need to do a smash and grab, passion and desire, Old Trafford crowd, score early, and actually have some resilience and resistance in midfield to stop them cutting us open. Aside from that, like, let's be honest, man. City are a team that, by the way, if you don't lay a glove on them, they don't have to play well to beat you. It's just if you don't hurt them, they just need a 7-minute spell in the first half, they'll bag a goal. A 7-minute spell in the second half, they'll bag another goal. If you don't lay a glove on them, then, so hopefully we put in a respectable performance. But looking at this team, the way they've been performing, the self-sabotage, as I call them, every time they, they'll fight. Whether they score or not after 20 minutes, they'll find a way to concede a goal. They'll create ways. They're very, very creative when it comes to conceding goals. So, yeah, I think if we can, I'm not optimistic, side, man. I'm just chatting shit, bro. I don't know what to say at this point.
I was thinking, where you going with this?
I'm not going nowhere, bro. I'm not going anywhere. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, we've been playing shit. We're crap. We're playing City. Like, hopefully the passion and desire might take us through, man. That's it, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Bro, listen, I'm real with you. You know what it is, yeah? And a lot of people have said to me, Saeed, man, you should have came in with a bit of confidence, come in with a bit of chest, this is Manchester Derby, but I can't lie to you. And yeah, this is where it came from, Yo Insider. He's a bit hit and miss, but I mean, sometimes he gets it right, sometimes he gets it wrong. But Staffy, I mean, is it a case of Ten Hag tactics, personnel? How do we get something out of this game? Because, like I said to you, they don't become bad players overnight, but the system and the way we're playing, I feel like we've regressed since last season. I felt there was a bit of resilience to us. I feel like, our defense, you could rely on them. We had a bit of fight. We did have Fred, though, and Fred was amazing last Manchester Derby at home. We don't have that in us. Do we have any players that can play on the day that are good as well? Like, talk to me, man. What's your feelings, bro?
That's a good thing to mention, Fred, because as much as we didn't rate him, he was always a tactical tweak that you can use in certain games. He was like low key for us, like Park Ji-sung as an example. Obviously not the same quality. Park Ji-sung was much better, but he was just like a tactical tweak that managers used in big games. And we don't have that anymore. And looking at this, obviously we're not going to win or lose because of Fred. I'm just mentioning that because you mentioned it. I don't look at this team and what we have on the bench and I'm like, if we change this, and that tomorrow, we're going to win. There's so much that needs to go right for us tomorrow to win, to the point that I don't believe in it, because the manager has to get all his decisions right, which he hasn't been doing all season. The players need to show up for the occasion, which they haven't been doing all season. The players need to not just show up to the occasion. They all have to stay focused for 90 minutes because we're playing one of the most lethal teams in recent times, even though they're probably not as good as they were last season, which they're not going to do. So when you're looking at the whole season so far, and I'm so sorry to be negative for the people that wanted me to be positive, I'm just looking at everything that we got tomorrow between the manager and the personnel and the form and everything surrounding these players, and I don't see how they can get a result tomorrow. Now, granted, 90 minutes are played in those 90 minutes only, so anything can happen. So form can be at the window. Bruno can have a masterclass. Rashford can bag a hat trick. Onana can turn into like prime Manuel Neuer. Everything can happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, but the likelihood of so many things that need to be right tomorrow to happen for us to win, I don't think it will. The manager, I think, will mess up. I think he'll get the midfield wrong. Obviously, we'll get into some of these decisions later as we speak in the show. I think he's going to get his midfield wrong, which is going to be the biggest thing for me. And some of the personnel that we're playing tomorrow, I know 100% they're not up for the battle. Starting from the left back as an example, Reguilon, he's going to have a tough day against Jeremy Doku. Rashford, is he going to get his, is he going to start his patch of form, that purple patch that we always refer to tomorrow? Most likely not. Is Bruno going to be tidy with the ball and he's going to make the right decisions when we need him to? Probably not. There's so many things that, because we've seen the season so far, I can already see the blueprint and I can already see that it's going to happen again. I hope I'm wrong, but as Danny said, I actually have no optimism going to tomorrow's game. I'm not so negative where like, oh my God, we're going to get smashed like everyone said. I don't think we'll get smashed, but I don't think we'll get out tomorrow. I'm sorry.
I mean, big up to you, Michael, but I mean, tactically, you know what I mean? How are you looking to nullify Man City? You know what I mean? They have got danger men on the pitch, but again, like I said to you, I don't think they play every single game well. They've not been playing well this season, but does it take a lot to play well against Man United? Look at Copenhagen. You know what I mean? Like they didn't play well. And sorry, they found it easy in the first half. Like Sheffield United, Burnley, they found easy to play through Man United. I'm not saying they scored goals against us, but just the idea of playing against us is so easy for me. That's the way I kind of look at it for me.
For us, is like kind of, I think Staffy alluded to, like the midfield. You pretty much have to get the whole 11 correct, which is not going to be the easiest thing to do. And also, we see against Man City, to beat them, you need to have execution. And so far, as we see, our forwards literally might have the worst execution in the Premier League outside of maybe Sheffield, because our forwards only have one goal in the league. We're basically Tuchel's Chelsea. Everyone scores for us except our forwards. Defenders score, midfielders score, no one else scores.
Listen, they scored 8 today. Bayern scored 8 today, but
but like it's just no one else scores except maybe our midfield. So maybe like a Varane pops up with the goal and we're lucky off a set piece. But City are monstrous on set pieces because they have 4 center backs that are over 6 foot tall. So it's pretty hard to score against them in set pieces. How do you break down that team? But like kind of Danny said, passion and desire. That's the only hope we really have tomorrow. You just hope all 11 players know what the occasion means and know that this is the kind of game that can kind of, if you win this game, you have that motivation to go into this upcoming next 2 months, which is just filled with so many matches. I think we have probably 15 matches over the next 2 months, filled with Champions League Cup schedule and all that. And this is the kind of game I'd go like, we'll talk about the selection later, but you have to have 11 players that are going to be willing to work on and off the ball for all 90 minutes. You can't let City kind of dictate the game. I think we're going to have to take it to them, especially with our press. Our press has to be perfect tomorrow. We have to rattle them, because if City don't get rattled, eventually that cutback to Erling Haaland is going to happen in the 25th minute, and he's going to slot it top bins, and then good night. We turn off the television. So,
yeah. Big up to HK Music. He's asking about why do Rashford and Bruno play every game. We will get into that. That's one of the debates today. And big up to Hortensia. Big up to you, my guy. Says big up, bro. Boys, a question for how long you guys Neto will be out for? Do you guys a top 6 club will go for him in the summer? I personally like Neto. I don't know what the rest of them think, but I think that could have been an option in the summer. The injury's unfortunate, man. He keeps getting a lot of injuries, and it's sad, man, because he was just about getting into his groove. But I think a lot of us would take Neto. He's a very, very good player, and I think he's Premier League proven as well. So, yeah, I don't know if anyone agrees. Neto, yes or no, anyone?
Yeah, that hamstring injury looked bad, though. He looked like he got sniped from the top of the building. The way he pulled up, that's definitely a 2-3 month injury right there. The way he pulled up on the hamstring.
Yeah, he looked like a grade 1 hamstring. You know, you have different grades of hamstrings. Yeah. That wasn't one of them where it was like after 3 weeks you come back. So, but he is injury prone. That's the only problem here, right? That, all the talent in the world, but if you're injury prone, doesn't make sense.
Those injuries are scary, for them kind of players, because he's very explosive. Those hamstring injuries, they keep adding up. That it takes away your pace so quick.
Takes away, yeah. You look at Hazard, etc., etc. Let me ask you a question, Adam. Man, have you been disappointed by Ten Hag tactically this season? Like, we can't just say, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Ten Hag doesn't really inspire them," but he did last season. I think in games he matched people at home, especially at home. I've not seen the tactics. We've been sitting back a lot, defensive shape, hitting them on transitions. But have you been disappointed by Ten Hag tactically this season, Adam? I know you love your tactics and whatnot, but have you been disappointed by him in terms
Yeah.
of where he's been? No?
Yeah, extremely disappointed. Extremely. Not
Okay.
necessarily the tactics, because people were reacting at the start of the season and preseason about, oh, we're going to leave Casemiro alone with Bruno and Mount going too high. But I was happy with that, because that's what we wanted for years, in the sense that people kept saying we need someone like Casemiro to allow the 2 8s to go. And to make that happen, you need to work as a team and you need to press very highly.
Yeah.
And the pressing stats are matching that to some extent. And we are winning the ball back quite high up when we manage to do it. I don't think Casemiro is the right profile for that. And I don't think the player that's deep in midfield has the job of defending, because it's a team effort. That guy does not have to defend. Everyone has to defend. That guy is in charge of moving the ball quickly. I don't think Casemiro moves the ball quick enough. That's just not his strength. I think that's a different type of profile. So with that regards, I was willing to be very patient, because I thought, you know what, I could see this, like we could get this going, because this is what we wanted for years: pressing, possession, like a 4-3-3 that switches with a back three in position. We wanted that for a long time. It's not the tactics so much that are disappointing me. It's just, it doesn't make sense. So much of what he does is shocking to me. It's absolutely shocking to me. And I'm not really I'm not one of those Ten Hag out at the moment. It's just that he's going to sack himself, because I wouldn't be surprised if we start playing well in a few months and we actually start playing well, and I would be very happy with that. But at the moment, I can't defend you. I can't defend Ten Hag. It's just, you are your worst enemy at the moment. And for me, it starts with just picking the right players. Of course, we've had many injuries, and defense is very important. So I can sort of hear it, but what we've seen recently, man, it's disgusting. It's shocking. It really is shocking.
Do you feel like there's something in there though? Do you feel like there's some sort of new tactics that we've seen, or do you feel like he's not got the balance of the team yet with the midfield and the attack? You know, we've only scored one goal from the attack in terms of the build-up play. Maybe the players are struggling to understand his system, or do you think it's just not coherent enough?
I think he needs to grow a pair, man. I really do. I think he needs to start making the decisions we are expecting to. Like what I saw yesterday about Rashford. You play him every game, bro. That could be the final straw for me. Like this, you cannot say it. And even if I like a player and he's not playing well, I think it's good for him to drop him, just to let him rest, to watch the game from the bench, just to say, you know what, like, just get your energy back. Get your head calm, and then go and then come back. Great managers do that all the time. Sometimes you just take a player out of the firing line. It's not even about liking the player or not, but forcing him into form. You do that another thing that does my head in that regard is you do that when you know the player is great. Like you can force someone like Neymar or Hazard or Vinicius into form because you know what is the level he can get to. Rashford's best level, what is it? Is it that high that we need to persist? It's not that good. His level is just not that good. He could score a fair amount of goals, fair enough, but to persist with him, doesn't make sense to me. It just, I could be very wrong, but
listen, he's dying on his sword, Adam. Which his sword was that he's gonna try to change his tactics from last season to this season. But the main thing that he needed was his guy to keep firing, which is Rashford, because we've seen Rashford last season because at moments we did transition the way that we played. We transformed it a few times. Sometimes it would be expensive. Sometimes it would be pragmatic. When we were at home, we open up a little bit more. When we go away, we try to be a little bit more compact. But the one thing that was consistent for him was Rashford. This season, he was banking on the same thing to happen. And I've said that a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah, but
he was banking on it. No, I'm not disagreeing with you or agreeing. I'm just explaining. I'm just going off what you just said because I somewhat do agree. The thing that it's costing right now, and I think you said it perfectly. You said he's going to sack himself because he was banking on Rashford to keep doing his thing because let's be honest, he is the focal point of this team, which I disagreed on so many times. I said he shouldn't be the focal point.
Yeah, but
currently he is.
Is he anymore? That's my thing because we just signed.
I think he is. I think he is because I agree with you. I think Rasmus should be our focal point But when you look at the way that we played, the limited touches that he gets per game, and the amount of chances that get created for him, which show you statistically, we are not trying to build around him. And that's the thing. Sorry, not build around him, play around him. And I think he should be. Now, the thing is right now, no one is getting goals in that front line. Neither is it's not Rasmus and it's not Rashford. And that's the main issue. But I'll tell you something. We can have issues with our style of play easily if we were picking up points, if we are winning, even if the performance are not good. Because last season, we weren't talking too much about the performance because we were winning and we were competing on all front ends in all the cup competitions. And obviously the league, we were just about there in third. This season, we're not replicating that, which is why when you said he's going to sack himself, I agree with you. Because he didn't take a game or two to say, listen, let me sit out Rashford to just watch the game. And you said it perfectly because I swear I said it on your channel before. I said sometimes a player needs to sit on the bench and just watch the game. Listen, I've been playing bad for a few games. I'm on the bench today. When you're on the bench, you can see the game. It's easier to come on as a sub because you can already see, okay, these are the strengths today. These are the weaknesses. The team that we're going against today, let's say we're winning, losing, tied, whatever. You can see the game and you're like, if I come on for 20, 30 minutes, this is what I need to do because I see my teammates are not doing X, Y, Z, but the opponent is doing X, Y, Z, and this is what I could do. Especially that we have as much as it sounds funny, we have the high bench in Old Trafford where you can see most of the pitch. It's actually so much easier to watch the game when you're at Old Trafford, just to be like, okay, this is what's going on today. I'm going to come on, I'm going to do this, this, and that. The manager didn't do that in the easier games. So that's kind of on him because we're not going to go into tomorrow and all of a sudden expect Bruno or Rashford to be dropped because he didn't do that in the easier games. He didn't try to give him some time to just relax and, listen, you haven't been playing well. We're going to bring you on as a sub when we're winning, when we're losing, whatever, and you can come on and impact the game and maybe it helps you with your confidence. We haven't been doing that. So if he didn't do that with the easier games, there's no way he's doing that with the Manchester Derby.
Yeah. You know what? Let me. The thing is for me though, and I come to Danny next, is that obviously, you know what I mean? Are people right to demand players being dropped when the system isn't fluid enough? Like, do you think Garnacho or whoever comes in will deploy a different set of way of playing? The sample size for that Carabao Cup game is only one game, but
that's not even a sample.
Have we just got to just blame the manager instead of maybe blame personnel for the players to thrive?
It's a bit of both, man. There's lots of blame to go around. I wish Man United fans will get out of the habit of thinking it's always about one or two players. You can drop Bruno and Rashford; it won't make any difference, especially with all the injuries that we've had. This is my issue, Saeed. Yeah, you go back to that Copenhagen game, right? Rafael Varane had 102 touches. 102. I bet if I was to guess, he had more touches than Amrabat and Maguire combined in that first half and probably throughout the game.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. I'm just guessing. I haven't actually checked it. 102 touches for Rafael Varane. Remember that picture you saw? Did you see that picture on social media with the big gap between the midfield?
No. Where's that?
You didn't see it with the 3-1. It was 3, and there's no 1 and just a 6, just the front line. You didn't see the picture?
Where is that on Twitter?
I can't remember the account.
Wait, what? The 406?
Yeah, just it wasn't even a 1.
I have it.
And I laughed when I saw it because this is what fans did under Oli in the Villarreal game. Back line, no midfield, a line of attackers. What that picture doesn't tell you is that Amrabat dropped deep to make a back three. Varane ignored him. What that picture doesn't show you is that overload in the final third, Eriksen had pushed up. Marcus Rashford was narrow, so Varane could have hit a switch. What that picture doesn't show you is that after Varane passes it to Dalot, there's space because of that final third overload for Anthony and Dalot to execute a 1-2 so Dalot can progress, and they messed it up. That's what that picture don't show you. So the players are not capable of executing what the manager wants. But on the flip side of it, he doesn't seem capable of adapting to the personnel that he has. So the problem is twofold. If you go back to the Brentford game, he had Lindelof taking up positional rotations that you'd expect Daley Blind to do. That's insanity. That I saw a sequence where Lindelof went from left back, inverted into midfield, pushed up high into the half space between a winger and a striker, came short and then tried to run in behind. I'm like, what? Lindelof can't do that. Why have you got... I don't understand. Like, why have you got Lindelof doing that? That don't make no sense. It don't make any sense. So the problem's twofold. He doesn't have the players to execute what he wants. And at the moment, he seems incapable of adapting to the limitations of his players. And the fullbacks is a key place to start. He needs to make a choice. You want them to overlap or you want them to underlap. They can't do both. They're not intelligent enough. We don't move the ball around enough. We don't coordinate well enough. The players don't have the intelligence to understand when they need to underlap, when they need to overlap, when they need to be on the edge of the box. So if you don't have that IQ in your fullbacks, you don't have the coordination in the team, you don't have the control at the base of the team, you can't ask your fullbacks to be multifaceted. You have to double down on a simple thing that.
Are you talking about this one here? Are you talking about this one here?
Oh my God, this is
Yeah. So I'm starting with this one, but before this, that's what I said. Amrabat's there at the top. When it was with Varane, he could have played it to Amrabat. Amrabat could have progressed it to Reguilon. When it was with Varane, Varane could have switched to play. And here, him and Anthony and Dalot have space for a 1-2. They mess it up. So you can look at the picture and say, where's the midfield? I told you this a year ago, where's the midfield? You guys kept blaming Bruno or blaming this player and that. I'm telling you, it's your manager's tactics. Where McTominay is, he did that with Fred against Betis last season. That's not a shock to me. The first stream we did remember the first stream we did, Saeed? And I said, play a guess game, where who's who?
Yeah. I remember that.
Do you see why? Do you see why I did that now?
Yep.
Do you see why I did that? So the problem's twofold, and yeah, he just needs to double down on what these players are capable of doing. It's really that simple, because gambling on Rashford catching fire or gambling on this guy, you can't gamble on players to bail you out. Not a Man United. You just can't. Every manager has done this, and every manager has got themselves sacked by doing this. Yeah, Oli did this with his Fred and McTominay duo. For how long were we screaming for Matic to come into the team, and he would never put Matic in there? How long were you screaming for Donny to go in there? This doesn't work for Man United managers. So the problem is twofold, Said. He needs to learn to just accept what your players are capable of doing. Like, why are we playing McTominay as a second striker? What we did? Why is Bruno Fernandes? Why is Bruno Fernandes dropping deep between two centre backs? Why is it? Everybody was applauding. I want Eriksen on to play more football when Casemiro went, right? All the Casemiro guys, you can't play ball. Casemiro's a better passer than Amrabat, by the way. Better ball progressor. Way more better. Take out Casemiro.
Long range Amrabat is better.
Take out Casemiro, you put in Amrabat. Look what happened to Amrabat against Copenhagen. Isolated by himself.
You think
exactly.
That's a passer?
How's that his fault, man?
Yeah. In terms of the passes he's capable of executing, clear. And way more beneficial. Amrabat, just like Donny van der Beek, is someone, if your team is coordinated well, yeah, and everything is working,
I agree.
Yeah, because he's more efficient and he's more selective with his passing, you get the benefit. But if the team ain't coordinating well, what's Amrabat's passing going to do for you? Nothing. About Casemiro, there are certain devastating passes that Casemiro can hit from that position. Amrabat can't. But that's not the point anyway. My point is this. Just 1 second, Adam, because that weren't really the point. The point I was trying to make was this. People were like, take Casemiro out, put Amrabat in, you'll see an immediate difference. You've put Amrabat in, you've seen no difference. And you'll see no difference.
Yeah, because he brought in McTominay.
Wait.
I said that.
You see no difference because when you leave a DM isolated, who's not Busquets, who's not De Jong,
that is correct.
Who's not elite, is the problem. And then in the second half, what did he do? Then he plays a double pivot. And you're looking at it and you're like, well, why don't you play a double pivot with Amrabat? Why would you leave Amrabat isolated and have Varane taking 102 touches on the football? So that's why I'm saying it's twofold, Saeed. You can slander any individual player you want, but trust me, I can point to tactics that Ten Hag is doing, which makes the problem even worse because he's not adapting to the limitations of his team. That's also an issue. Like, why have Amrabat by himself isolated? You take him off, say you want Eriksen to play football. Why don't you play football with Eriksen and Amrabat? In fact, why did you buy Amrabat in the first place?
Yeah.
Are you empowering Amrabat?
DM.
You can't leave Amrabat alone in that setup. You can't. You have to play him in a double pivot. So when I see that, I'm like, it's another example of him, right? Not adapting to the limitations and strengths of his players.
You don't need a double pivot with Amrabat. You just need an 8 that shows up to the ball. Because if one is gonna play off the ball, advance like we do with Mount sometimes, like we do with Bruno. I don't want Bruno dropping deep. That changed as an example that you just brought up.
When they drop deep, if you go back and watch that first half against Copenhagen, our centre backs don't have the confidence to hit the line breaking passes. Varane did it.
What
once.
was the game that was before that
Varane
Eriksen
did it
came on
once.
at
Maguire did
halftime?
it once. You need to make those lines.
Right.
Let me tell you what happens when you play
That's
football.
right, yeah.
If
There's a
you're
game where
dropping-
he came on, Eriksen came on instead of, I
Yeah.
forgot who he came on for. I think it was
Yeah.
Casemiro.
Hannibal.
Yeah,
Come on for Hannibal.
and
Yeah.
him and Amrabat linked up well in that midfield. And I don't even think it was the Galatasaray
Brentford.
game. It was the one in the league. It was the one in the league.
It was
Brentford. There you go. And they both linked up well, which is why I'm saying
I thought
Eriksen is not really
that day.
No.
He ended up moving at left back later.
He ended up moving. Yeah.
Galatasaray,
Yeah.
he was a left back. That's why that's not the game I'm talking about. The game before, I think it was Brentford. He was the 6. When he brought on Eriksen, both of them played football together. And then when he tried to do it in the Copenhagen game, he took out Amrabat and brought on Eriksen. I'm like, why would you do that? Because the correct decision would be to take out McTominay and bring on Eriksen and have Bruno the one who's the best. You don't need Eriksen playing like a second striker behind Højlund the whole time.
Exactly.
My other question with like the second striker is, if you're gonna play a second striker, why just not use Donny van de Beek instead of McTominay? Since Donny van de Beek actually knows how to play as a second striker in a sense, he has better spatial awareness. He'll know where to pick up better spaces than McTominay.
100%.
What does McTominay know how to do with? As a
I think
striker?
output maybe. I think he thinks that McTominay is a better maybe finisher.
One thing I forgot. You know what this comes down to? During pre-season, I was saying we don't look prepared. I said that as well. I don't know. Other than the thing that Adam alluded to with the 2 advanced players, and even then, the players are to blame in one aspect, but also, I mean, if you just have your fullbacks inverted, that space that's left with Casemiro is covered by 2 people either side. So even then, it gets back to him asking his fullbacks to do too much. But other than that, we weren't well prepared. Then he's got injuries. Players have lost form, and he's just bouncing from idea to idea to idea.
Yeah. That's what he's doing. I mean, the question here, big up to Big Benz. He says, question to the panel: Can you really see Ten Hag taking United to the next level, game-wise and tactically? 16 signings, even though some are loans. Listen, I think for me he can, but I think his stubbornness is my problem for me. I think his stubbornness to maybe think that his way is more, I don't know, like to what the players are playing right now. He's playing for certain players rather than playing for the team. I genuinely think the reason why he's playing for Rashford because he knows he's got the output. Therefore, when you say, Danny, 1 or 2 players are in the team and we won't play better, I think we can play better as a team.
No, we'll play better. You'll play better. So if you picked a different midfield of guys who are more conservative passes and more sensible with their decision making, you'll just keep the ball better. But all you'll do is highlight the lack of quality and coordination with the fullbacks and the wide players in our attack. It's garbage. That's all it will do. It will just
what you mean? You mean Dalot and Reguilon?
Not just Dalot, just in general. We've got injury problems. Most of us got 3 fullbacks injured, remember, or 2. So my point is this: you can pick a more conservative midfield, better playmakers, guys will keep the football. What I've realized, Saeed, you know when a team is incomplete and has so many problems, when you solve one problem, it highlights another problem. So while you'll be satisfied and get control and more sensible football players in your midfield, your attention will then switch to the attack, which Casemiro's outscored. Casemiro has more GA than all of our attackers, and that's not because of 2. And that's not because of 2 players people don't like. Yeah. So changing your midfield don't change all these chances you've seen them miss. It's not like we create a high volume of chances, but we should have taken more chances than we have. Say that, like the amount of chances we've missed are embarrassing. 2, I think we've got 2 GA in 2 GA, not 2 goals. Total GA in the league from our attackers is 2. 1 goal and 1 assist.
1 goal, 1 assist
from 1 player, and that's the player.
Nketiah today got a hat trick.
And it's Rashford.
It's more than our whole front line in 10 games.
Problem with Rashford though is he could have gave us more GA. Yeah, that one was individual brilliance where he just went around the pitch and then just cut in and shot. Like yes, you could give it credit, but also it's something where he could have easily fumbled that. Sometimes you look at Rashford thinking every single chance that he has is either he's going to fumble it or it just kind of works out for him. It's nothing I don't think is out of this world. Don't get me wrong. You give credit for the goal, but I think sometimes his brain will tell him to do one thing and then his body will tell him to do another. And I just don't think it's good enough for Man United. I really don't.
Beyond Rashford, though, he needs to play with. Let me just say this quick. He needs to play with 2 central midfielders. Yeah, just it's really that simple. Leaving one midfielder by themselves with. By the way, if you look at that back 4 in the previous game, none of them are his signings. It's just like none of them are his signings.
Well, but the problem is we can say it's not his signings, but bro, he's picking a team, man. He's picking
It don't
Maguire.
matter.
He's
They're not
picking,
his. That's not a.
McTominay.
No, but you have to be consistent, Said. Yeah.
Technically,
If you
regular
know
on
what
his.
somebody requires, then they don't have what they
Regular
require.
Regular is his
That's
signing.
emergency signing, bro. What we doing, man?
I hear that though.
No,
yeah.
but
Come on, bro.
what do you want to do though? You know what I mean? I get it.
No,
I'm
but
not
I'm
saying
still
he's the
don't get
problem
twisted.
anyway.
I'm still saying
McTominay.
it's twofold. I'm still saying it's twofold. Yeah, you've got Varane taking 102 touches. That's Varane. What are we doing here? Yeah,
Yeah, he's
but
not
then you're
progressing the
playing a
ball.
single
Yeah,
pivot.
no.
You're playing a single pivot who can't even get a touch on the ball. Play two central midfielders.
It was very
Do the
easy.
best you can do. Just do the best
All
you can.
Copenhagen had to do in that game was just mark Amrabat, and then there goes your ball progression. It was that simple.
Yeah, simple.
And City will do the
this is the
same
thing,
thing.
though.
He'll 100% do the same thing against us tomorrow.
I don't think we'll do that. We're not gonna play a 3-1-6 tomorrow, though. I highly doubt he's gonna be that naive to play that.
No, what I meant to say is like every time we get the ball, he's gonna have someone close to Amrabat because he knows that's where we try to go. And we're gonna go long all game, and he knows Nana can go long, but he's gonna set a plan for us. So when he goes long, and you mentioned it already, Griggs, he has like 4 center backs that are over 6 feet. They're gonna bring down the ball. He already knows our deficiencies. He probably knows only Højlund can bring down those long balls, but other than that, it's peak tomorrow.
That's not
bro.
Højlund. That's Højlund's weakness. Højlund's better with his feet than he is competing for long balls in the air.
No, I'm talking about more generally about his hold-up play, which is not so bad. It definitely compared to Rashford, it's miles better.
But his hold-up play has to be ball to feet.
No, I get you.
If you play into his feet.
No, I agree with you.
Has Onana going long, deep. You can't. So you're not even playing to your. So you scouted the striker for a year. You know he lost most of his duels when he was isolated for aerial battles at Atalanta. Your goalkeeper is better hitting. Like there's a certain range Onana has at Inter. He worked. If you look at the balls he's playing into the Zeko, and he's not playing it into. He's playing it chest height. He's playing it into their feet, mid height. There's a certain range he was doing. Your manager's saying, forget the scout report for Onana. Let's go long. Forget the scout report for Højlund. Let's go long. He's better into his feet. I felt in that in the Copenhagen game. I felt sorry for him. When I saw us hitting these long balls for him, right, and he's isolated by himself, I felt sorry for him. Felt bad for him.
Yeah, no, I keep feeling sorry for him because the players that we've got are just not matching his abilities. Make sure you like the video, people. There's over 700 in the building. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, people. I wanna move on. Like obviously, we talked about the deficiencies, but the goals are a problem, Adam. You know what I mean? But you've always said like it doesn't matter who scores. You know what I mean? But at a minute, we're just not getting Anthony. Is he going to provide you anything on that right-hand side again? What do we do in Mount? Because we bought Mount now, but is he fitting in this team? What's the point of this Mount signing, by the way? We haven't even talked about that, guys. What was the point of this Mount signing? And I said it in the summer, but everybody said to me, stop being negative. I said, okay, if I can understand where he's going to play, then please, I'll. But now we've gone back to Eriksen. He's now eulogizing Eriksen when Eriksen was saying that he probably doesn't suit the style of the team. But then I'm confused, man. But Adam, go ahead, man.
I'm confused as well because the thing is, I like Mount. I don't have a problem with Mason Mount. But just if you told me we bought Mason Mount for 30 million and the team was already good, like almost finished, I would have said, you know what, that's a very, very good signing. But in the current state, it felt expensive, and I just didn't know. I didn't know what we do with it. The thing is, now he's not playing. And is it coming back from injury? I don't know. But he should be playing, to be honest. He should be playing, in my opinion. And going back to what you said about the goal, Said, and I don't know if do you hear me, Said? No. Yeah, just Said. Yeah, going back to what you said about the goals. It doesn't matter who scores. I always say that, and many people say that. It doesn't really matter who scores the goals. And I don't care because at the moment we're not scoring. And look, the goals that are helping us at the moment are not scored by our front line. If we play well and the striker scores and he's the only one scoring, fine, because we're playing well. But if we play well and the other player scores, I'm okay with it. But at the moment we're just shocking all around and we are not scoring goals. And when we get a few chances here and there, we don't finish them. I hear everything that he said, the criticism about the manager. I agree with that 100%. Like Ten Hag I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I really don't, because I think he's a good manager. That's the thing. I have some trust in him, But someone you know what, you need to bring Ten Hag on the show, Said, and ask him clear, what the fuck are you doing, man? What are you doing? Because we are willing to back you, but we need some help because it is not easy at the moment. And I agree with Danny on that, but I disagree on the thing. And we need better footballers. I have no doubt in my mind that if we start playing and picking better players, we'll play better. And if we remove some erratic elements of the team, the unpredictable ones that we don't know, because you can't do it unpredictable. I'd much rather have, if you are building a team, someone that you can actually, you know what he's going to give you, even if he's not as good at this one. Just for the time being, just so that we can build something. Because if you have a team that you can actually predict the performance and consistently do things that you want to do, it's easier then afterwards to pick what's the issue. If you are creating chances but the striker is shocking, you can say, you know what, we need a better finisher. It's easy to pinpoint. But at the moment, we could remove this guy and play another one and this guy. And we still, like Danny said, every time you think you solve a problem, another one emerges. And that happens all the time throughout the last few years. That has been the case. But my thing is, we removed everyone in the team but two. And I don't want to pick two players all the time, those two, Rashford and Bruno. But how about we try without them? Because Bruno, people talk to me about Bruno, about his creativity and chances. And I hear that to some extent. And they compare him to Kevin De Bruyne and the killer pass and this and that. But when Manchester City start playing, when the game starts, Kevin De Bruyne doesn't get the ball and do a killer pass immediately. You need to create an atmosphere. You need to create an environment, like some sort of microsystem in which then you create the space to do the killer pass. Bruno can pick that pass. He has it in his locker and we've seen it. But the problem is he's not helping us get to the environment in which he can actually start playing those passes. It's too erratic to start with. If we remove Bruno from the build-up and then you just put him in at the last moment and he could pick the pass, that would be fine. But to get there, he's not helpful, and neither is Rashford and Anthony as well. To be honest, like I have a bit more patience with Anthony because he's been through a lot and this, but it's not doing it either. Anthony's not doing it for me. So we need to have more players that will pick the ball, control it, pass it. You create space because people complain and disagree and argue about has football changed a lot the last 20, 30 years, or is it the same thing? I think football has changed a lot in the last 25 years. In the way that it's trying to achieve the same things, score a lot of goals and don't concede goals. Those are the two things. How do you get there? This is what has changed the most. And how you get to scoring goals and playing well, when you have the ball, you create space. So you just move the ball, pass it, move the ball, and then the opportunities will come. Patience. We have zero patience. Not for Anthony. Sorry, I just read that quickly. But we just don't have zero patience at all.
Yeah.
Zero patience. Just get the ball moving. And then when you get that environment, this is what happened the game against Crystal Palace. We started very boring, but passing the ball. And then all of a sudden we started creating chances. Of course, it's one game, so it's not a simple size, like you said, and like Danny said, it's not enough. But get the ball moving quicker, better. We need more players that do nothing, basically. Because people say, oh, what does he do? What does Rodri do? People never stop talking about how good Rodri is. Rodri is top class, but what does he do? Control the ball and move it. Quick, simple passes all the time. And he makes things click. And we need more players like this, and we don't have enough because we want everyone to save the team. You can't have 11 heroes. What the fuck?
But you need more players like that everywhere. That's why I don't agree with the focus on Rashford and Bruno.
I think so.
People skip along to Bruno and forget the fact that your back four has to have those qualities first and foremost. Your back four doesn't. If you go back to that Palace game, I can trace all of those patterns of play to our cup run against Reading and Forest last season when Bruno was in the team. Same patterns of play being executed. You know Mason Mount to go, Saeed, whose goal was it? Garnacho's goal, for example. Right? Mason Mount, deep, switches the play. Yeah. Palestri to Dallo, cut back. Yeah. Yeah, go back to the cup games last season. It's Eriksen hitting a long ball to Anthony. Wan-Bissaka gets in behind. Another goal we scored is Bruno hitting the switch. Same patterns of play. So the difference is last season, you had Martinez in there. and the back four was a bit more settled.
Yeah,
but if you don't have the back four, you don't have the 6, you don't have the CM, it don't make sense to me to focus on one player. It's about the collective. When I look at these teams that play good football, wait, they don't. So go look at Tottenham's goal, for example, yesterday, the second goal. Maddison's high. He don't touch the ball. Most of the work done for that goal was with the back four, Sarr and Højbjerg. Sarr and Højbjerg are two football players I don't think Man United fans would want. Do you know what I'm saying to you? The only ballers in there you could say is the new boy, what's his name, Van der whatever, and maybe Pedro.
Van der Ven, yeah.
If you want to say Van der Ven and Pedro, if you want to say the technical players in there. The other three, Romero's decent technically, he's not sensational. Then you've got Sarr and you've got Højbjerg. Go look at that goal. Maddison don't touch the ball in the build-up.
Playing yesterday. What are you talking about?
Maddison don't touch the ball in the build-up. So don't get me wrong. Adam's not wrong. I just think it's the wrong thing to focus on. That's all I'm saying. He's not wrong. His concept of football is spot on. It's facts. But the focus is wrong with this team. You don't have a back four, you don't have the 6, and you don't have the CM. So focusing on the attacking midfielder who should be an attacking midfielder when the manager's not even using him that way for the most part don't really make sense to me. You should look at the coach. When I watched that game, Saeed, I wouldn't blame McTominay for anything that I saw against Copenhagen. I blame the manager.
100%. It's a good point.
Because when I saw there was one sequence where the one time Maguire broke lines and McTominay got it between the lines, and I'm like, and then he's driving with the ball. That Mason Mount should be doing that.
Yeah.
On the McTominay thing, people
I can't blame McTominay for messing up that situation. That's not his strength. I need to be looking at the manager saying, why don't you have Mason out there?
People think that when you don't have the ball, you're playing badly. You're not having the ball. And why are we not having the ball in the McTominay's cases? And look, I'm not McTominay's biggest fan. I really am not. But the thing is, those are instructions. It can't be otherwise. Those are instructions. I'm not having it. And then we remove Amrabat, and then we put Eriksen in, but then the game changes. And it's not with McTominay up top like it was in the first half. So it makes Eriksen look so much better than Amrabat was. And you could make the case wherever, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, things changed. It's not really like a pound for pound substitution. It's not. It really is not the same. So we changed. But why would you play like this in the first place with it doesn't make sense. So that's why I'm on the match.
Do you know what else happened as well that people missed? Yeah. So this is what's funny. There was a brief moment where, for some reason, even when Eriksen had the impact and we were looking like we're going to build something with him, we went back to the 3-1-6 for a few minutes.
And we got cooked.
Then we started going long, lost control of the game for like 10, 12, 15
Yeah.
Just like that.
It's not consistent, man.
Lost control of the game. Then we started doing mid-block and counter-attacking.
Yeah, and also this kind of
manager's not helping himself.
Kind of pissing me off.
He's not helping himself.
No, absolutely. I got a super chat here from Pritesh. She says last season everyone was going after De Gea for not suiting the system, and I agree that was correct. Can the same people stop simping for Bruno and making excuses? I mean, hey, listen. You know what it is though? That is a good point though.
It's not a good point. It's not a good point.
No.
It's not a good point. It's not a good point. No. Because he's talking about.
Let me help him out.
No. Because I think because the comments for me. So I'm going to get onto this guy. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
People can't really have this conversation for me, and I'll tell you why. When we talk Ten Hag in his system, I made it very, very clear. Yeah, and you're seeing it whether you like it or not. He needs his Blind. He needs his Timber. He needs his Martinez. If you don't get that at the base of the team, I don't want to hear about anything else. Right? You need that with the goalkeeper. You need your goalkeeper, you need your centre-backs, and you need at least one elite fullback. Right? At the base, as a minimum, that has to be there on lock. Then you can start with your midfield. Then you can talk about your attack. If you don't have that at the base, you're not going to build play. Nobody builds play in football because they have the perfect one number 10 who's Odegaard, Ozil, whoever you think that profile should be. That's teams build play in sequences with multiple players, and the back four is key. So it's not simping for Bruno. It's a football conversation that some people struggle with, Saeed, because all they can do is focus. Hold on. All they will do is focus on blame one player. Bruno Fernandes is not the reason Manchester United do not build play properly. It's a collective issue. And some of it's instructions as well, sometimes with Ten Hag.
But can he also be a detriment to what we want to try and play?
No, he can be a detriment to what. So because those factors that I pointed out, right? So
No, but
I'll give you an example, yeah? No. So I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example.
Does he keep the ball well?
The back
Does he
four,
keep the ball
back four,
yes or no?
you've got the wrong six, and your back four is
No, but you keep blaming others, Danny.
Hold
This is the
on,
problem,
Said.
Danny. But you keep blaming others.
Let me land the point.
Other factors in
Let
there,
me
though.
land the point. You don't have the
Okay, go on.
foundation. You lose control of the game. Then Bruno contributes to the problem. Contributes. He's not the.
But he could be the deterrent factor at the start, though.
Said. Said. There's a difference between. Let me just get this sentence out. So, Adam, apologize. Yeah. There's a difference between contributing to a problem and being the root cause of the problem. Bruno is not the root cause. He contributes. Do you see the difference? It's a clear distinction. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Can I come back on it, please? Before you come, Adam, yeah?
Go ahead, my bro.
When we play good football, do you always look at Bruno Fernandes and think, why did he do this? Why is he just hoof the ball here? Why is he just misplaced a pass? When you're saying other players, I get it. Like, it's not the whole problem, and he is part of the problem. But sometimes he can be a deterrent of what we're trying to do. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, so I agree with you, but I'm saying he contributes to the problem. He contributes to the problem. He's not the root cause. I'm agree. Like, do you understand? I don't disagree with what you're saying.
No, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Trying to say we have bigger issues, but I feel like sometimes though, how are we ever going to get a system where we want to try and play fluid football, and we've got a guy who's like a pressure cooker? That's how I look at Bruno Fernandes.
Do you know how I know he's a contributor, not the root cause? Because I can find sequences where he's patient, and he doesn't do the things you look out for and focus on, and guess what happens in the end? Nothing. Someone else will contribute and we give the ball away anyway. Won't be hard for me to find those sequences of play. That's why I'm saying he's a contributor, not the root cause.
Yeah, but can I just pick on that nuance quickly? Because look, we're trying to build from the back. So by definition, the first players in the defense are going to be the root, just because they are the basic, the building blocks. But if they get it right and he gets it wrong, which happens a lot of the time, and I think this is what Said is talking about. He is very erratic, very impatient. He has absolutely no respect for the ball a lot of times. That means even if the basic problem starts at the back, when they get it right, he becomes the root problem when they get it right, and it just shifts from the back to the midfield. And if he gets it right and the defense gets it right, and then we move the ball to the forwards and they fuck it up, that means they become the root. They become the root problem. The thing is, there is a chance that the midfield will get it right, and there's a chance that the defense will get it right, but it's just too random.
But Adam, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But here's the thing: the same thing can happen the other way.
It can. But we
see what I mean. You see what I mean? So that's why you need to start.
Danny, can I ask you a question? You know, Bruno. How many times he's lost the ball in the Premier League?
So listen, I'll be honest with you, yeah. As somebody who this is the problem. Most people, 99% of football fans, don't know what's recorded for statistic. They don't know what's recorded. I know
that is the statistic that's recorded down.
Said, I watch stats. Yeah, I watch. Yeah. So when people tell me possession lost, you don't even know what they're recording. Yeah, you don't even. I get. There's a goal we conceded, I think last season. It might have been this season actually, where the ball comes off Luke Shaw's knee when he tries to intercept it, right? And the ball goes through. That's a possession lost.
Yeah, exactly.
When a player
I'm not talking about errors leading to goals. I'm not talking about errors leading to goals.
No, I'm saying you can have. I'll give an example, yeah? As a football fan, have you ever watched a player put in a good cross? You thought it was a good cross and nobody got to it, right?
Yeah.
That's a possession loss. So I'm not...
That is something that's bad as well. Why are we not acting like that's not bad?
No. But as a fan, you're looking at it and you're going, "That was a good cross. I wish somebody was there." But statistically,
but then we put eye tests to it. We all see him making mistakes, and then when the stat backs what I've been seeing, I'm like, "Oh, this is what I've been seeing." And the stat now is proving to me that he's the most wasteful player.
It doesn't prove it if you don't know what's being recorded.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If I watch the game...
I'll give an example. Let's say Bruno lost the ball 23 times in a game. The ones that pissed you off the most, that Adam's referring to about build-up, will account for 10% of those possession losses. So how significant So that's why.
Oh, but you know what it is though.
So we don't.
You're not
need
using
to, hold on.
eye test though,
My
Adeli.
point is this.
Yeah, that's
using
what I'm
eye-
saying. I'm
Saeed,
using
Saeed,
the game
Saeed, this
first
is my
before
point,
I
yeah?
speak about the stat.
Hold on, Staffy. Yeah. So if he's lost the ball 23 times, and what Adam's referring to is 4 of those possession lost, we don't need the stat. We can just have an eye test conversation.
Yeah.
We don't need the stat. We can have an eye test conversation, and we don't need the statistics.
Would you say Bruno Fernandes is a volume chance creator? Yes or no?
Of course, his career says so.
Yeah, and for me, this is one of the issues. The problem with me is that when you know from the eye test, he always forces it a lot. That stat that you're talking about does become relevant and does mean a lot because it's like
It don't,
it's
because
not
a lot
like
of it is faff. A lot of it is faff.
No, but the thing is, you
No,
know that
that's-
Bruno
a lot of
Fernandes
it-
gives the ball away a lot.
I'll give you an
It doesn't make
example.
sense.
Another one. Somebody asked me yesterday about progressive passing. If I showed you what's recorded for a progressive pass, you will never care about that statistic ever again in your life.
Exactly. I don't care
promise
about
you.
the stats. I don't care about the stats because
promise you.
if someone tell me Bruno lost the ball 30 times, I said I don't care. I'm watching the game. Did he play well or not? If he played well, I don't care about those 30.
The thing is, we
conversation
see
me
him
and Adam-
playing bad, and then we see that stat, which is what I'm
But the
trying to say.
conversation me and Adam were having doesn't require that statistic. We don't need it.
The thing is, I'm watching the games, and I'm not happy with Bruno. He's not playing well.
No,
He's-
Bruno's forms this season's been terrible. I'm not saying he's played well. His
No,
form's been shocking.
but that's been Bruno for time. Like he could lose the ball just as much as another one, and the other one would be much better for me. I watch the games with my eyes, and am I happy with what I'm seeing or not? And that ends there to me. Are we playing well? No. So I need to, those are correlations. Are we winning games? Not really. Are we convincing? And never convincing. So, and he is a mainstay in that team. And go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, I'm going to read a couple of super chats there. BXO1 says, whole problem is a lot of our players don't suit the system. We look static, we cannot keep possession, and look sloppy in the final third. But this is one of the reasons why we are talking about that. Someone's big up to ZZZ says, give two football reasons to drop Bruno and Rashford. I mean, how much time have you got? We've just literally talked about it. Have you not been watching? Or I don't know what you've been watching, mate. If
I
Bruno
mean,
wasn't
to be
trying
honest with
create-
you, I can answer that question without even talking about their profiles. You can drop them because they're in poor form.
There you
that's
go.
one thing.
That's one of them.
You like
I
him.
thought you wanted to elaborate on that. Saeed, I saw you at OT. Mount better than Bruno. Yeah, big up to Amin Nur. Mount better than Bruno. Facts. But even
You missed
Eriksen,
the
though,
super
like,
chat, Said. You missed one.
which one?
ZZZ. So he sent two super chats. You didn't read the second one.
No, I think I read that one.
Yeah,
If Bruno wasn't trying to create, you would cook him.
No.
I think for me, you can have an intelligent footballer. Eriksen for me and Mount as two players that I'm looking at. I'm thinking maybe not some Mount because he's not an elite chance creator, but he's off the ball movement. But Eriksen, he came on the pitch. I think he's better playing deep. But if you play him further forward and you have Casemiro and Amrabat behind him, you've got a bit more fluid system, and you may not have to do the volume chance creation because you then have a player who's a bit more intelligent and finds.
You can get that from Eriksen, Said. The
That's
reason
the-
Eriksen
I
doesn't
do
do
think
that,
Eriksen
though-
gives the ball a
You
lot.
know why I
though. I do
laugh
think
about
Eriksen
this?
does give
This
a
is
ball.
why I laugh about this.
No.
yeah.
I'm gonna hold you there.
No.
Eriksen does give the ball a lot, though. I do.
No. It's not that. This is why I laugh about this. Yeah. So listen, having Mason Mount as a Man United player is weird to me because Chelsea fans conversations for years about him. Chelsea had a system that worked for about 12 months, 18 months under Tuchel. Mason Mount was the vocal point for that. Did all the things you want to see him do at Man United. Do you know what the conversation was about Mason Mount? The haters would say, right? That they forget the haters. Mason Mount's final ball and his finishing was problematic. So even somebody that was pro Mason Mount would highlight that. And what they would say is, we needed somebody who could score the goals, and we needed someone else who could play the killer pass. So he's not always because he'd always be the guy because of his movement. Because his movement was so good, he was always be the guy who has to play the killer pass or be on the end of a finish. And he fell short for most of his Chelsea career when it came to that.
Yeah,
and
but that's
people started hating him because of it.
thing. That's
So,
a quality thing.
Even so, what will happen is if we don't. This is the thing, saying if the team doesn't have other strengths. So if Bruno goes, this guy goes. In 2 years, if Mason Mount is here, you're going to be saying the same thing Chelsea fans were saying. Who do we have that can play that final ball? And why don't we have someone who can take the chances? It's the team. It's not. Man United fans need to stop focusing on individuals. It's the team.
But the individuals are carrying the team right now, and the solution
But
is
it's
drop
never
them,
about
is to
two
pick personnel.
people. Okay, so people told me take out Maguire, we can play with a high line. How do we play with a high line without Maguire?
Well, obviously, yeah.
People were saying we could play with a high line without Maguire.
No, people were saying that. People were saying that.
Yeah, but that was a lot of nonsense to me because playing with a high line has nothing to do with the pace of your or your defender. It's about the rest of the team clicking and the qualities on the ball, quickly moving the ball. But the thing is, every player has strengths. Every player has strengths and weaknesses, like what you said about Mount, and fair enough. But the thing is, I have no problem with someone having weaknesses trying to do the right thing. We have too many players trying to do the wrong thing too often. And that is what bugs me. And you can say, yes, I agree that it's not only one or two people, because when people were criticizing Pogba for being the sole problem, I wasn't agreeing with that because it didn't make sense. And I hear what you're saying. But the thing is, we are trying to play as a team. And somehow we can't with those. And regarding the Eriksen thing, just to highlight how bad we are, to be honest, Eriksen is not an elite deep midfielder. Like, he just adapted his play as his career is going on, but he's not
an intelligent footballer.
He's just an intelligent. He's not that good. That's the state we're in midfield. Because Eriksen is not De Jong. He's not Busquets. He's not. He's nowhere.
We shoehorned him. Yeah, 100%.
He's nowhere. It's just that he's the best we have, and that is shocking. It tells you also how bad of the footballers the other are. They are not very good on the ball. They aren't. So
yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Said. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have a 10 that has the qualities that Bruno doesn't? So you think about Bruno's deficiencies. Would you rather have that 10 or a back four that was elite and competent on the ball?
Well, that 10, but was elite competent? But of course, I would want the
basically
one
build up for
the back. It's not build for the back.
Mesut Ozil or a complete back four?
Well, you have to pick the
complete back four.
No, but the thing is, you have to always pick the guy who's obviously the more the merrier, innit? The better the team and the better the players. But
if you could get prime Ozil right now, we'd run into the same problems because it's about.
You are right. You are right. That's not an issue at all. I agree with you. But we had better forwards that we're using right now, Danny. I get what you're saying. By the way, I'm not disagreeing completely with everything you said. When you look at it in the general idea of what you just said, like just not this United team, the way that you're explaining football, you are correct. If you have a better back four than just a competent 10, you will be playing better football. I get you. But we have had better back fours than the ones we were using this season. Yes, we have some injuries. Yes, we had to play some players that ideally you wouldn't want to play.
On the ball.
In the back four is what I'm trying to say.
We're elite in build-up play.
No, I'm not saying elite. I'm saying we've
had better back four that we're using right now. Play. I'm talking about a back four that's a build-up play.
Okay, so our build-up last season was better when Martinez was available. No, we didn't have an elite back four. I agree with you. But we've had a better back four than we've had right now. And there is certain games where we reach that final third and you're relying on a 10 or a creative midfielder in general, and that's when the deficiencies show, which is why Adam is sitting here 100%.
No, you're wrong.
100%. So why do you think Adam is sitting here and raving about Bruno?
No. In the final third, there's no complaints about Bruno. I'm sorry. In the final third,
this season there hasn't been any complaints about Bruno.
Oh no. Bruno's form this season's been bad. I'm talking about in terms of his profile and his strengths and weaknesses. It's not about the final third. It's the other 2/3. It's the other 2/3. It's not the final third.
But I know he already can't play in that two other thirds, which is why I don't even talk about it, because he's not that good of a footballer. Which is why last game, when he was trying to have him drop deep and pick up the ball, we were like, why is he doing that? Because you know what? Who he's used to doing that? He's used to Eriksen doing that. But Adam just said it perfectly. We used
Bruno did it last year in the Brentford Everton.
But how many games? But for how many games, Griggs? He didn't do it a lot.
That was the games he was told to do that task. He was in Brentford at home game.
A short period of time.
Bruno and Eriksen deeper would have it pretty much the same thing, except Eriksen is a better of a short passer. Neither of them can carry the ball at a high level. Eriksen can't carry the ball. Bruno can't carry the ball. That's why I said Eriksen can't play in the 10, because you're gonna put him in positions where he's gonna have to carry the ball that Bruno struggles in. And Eriksen, when he plays deeper, he is the better ball carrier though. He has the pitch in front of him, so he doesn't have to play. He doesn't have to play in the tight spaces.
That's why I said Kassi, Amrabat, and Eriksen. And then Eriksen
because Eriksen as well. When Eriksen plays high up the pitch, the other teams are going to congest on him. And what is he going to do then? The ball's going to come to his feet, and he's going to get tackled right away.
When Mason Mount is that the solution? Mason Mount.
I don't want to play with the 10 at all, to be honest. I'd rather just have a midfield.
I'd rather have central midfielders as well.
I agree with you.
One thing I always say, Michael, the caveat.
Can I just I'm gonna get you the super chat here because it obviously relates to you. The way fans like Danny defends Bruno and Rashford is funny to me. How many games have they played well this season? They both should be benched, not just poor, but horrible this season. And HK says, we played Crystal Palace without Bruno and Rashford and we won and played well. They enter the very next game and we lose and we look bad. They had a problem. I blame Erik ten Hag for not benching them as well.
Simple response to that. One, I've said they've both had poor form this season and you can drop them based on their form. We're having a conversation about their profiles being responsible for the team not playing well, and that's what I disagree with. That's all I
don't
disagree
think Danny
with.
defended them, if I'm being
That's
fair.
exactly. That's all I disagree with. This idea, you take those two out and we're guaranteed to go up levels as a football team, you people are delusional. And you will learn, just like the people who thought take out Casemiro and things would get better.
I agree with you that bit. I think you're using that one just because you're using it for the Bruno. I didn't think you would agree with that one, but fair play to you, man, because
which one?
A lot of people said to me, Casemiro, you come out of the team
it's
would be playing. You know, this guy here, shall I tell you the biggest one is? It's Michael Griggs here. And if you speak up now, man, you're not speaking up.
Bro, when Casemiro got dropped, I had never envisioned in my life that Scott McTominay would be playing as a
well, that's what I'm saying, Griggs.
Bro, anyone would think that would happen.
Don't try it. Don't try Amrabat.
Try it.
I do agree. My issue with that is, and I do feel bad for Casemiro in the sense. I do feel with Casemiro in the sense that we're seeing the same difference with Amrabat. He's isolated, and when the 3-1-6 needs binning, it's that simple. This 3-1, no, Ten Hag should get sacked based on the fact that he keeps playing a 3-1-6. Wow. It's an abysmal formation, bro. I'm seeing 3-4. I'm seeing 0 players in the midfield. Varane can't progress the ball that well. Maguire can just do the Varane.
I think with Varane we progress the move much better because he looks.
Bro, this guy just passes it sideways the whole match. He doesn't break any lines.
Adam, I can't lie, man. He's the worst progressor I've ever seen, man.
Bro, and this time it's his fault. Bro. His knees are sideways, bro. Varane is positioning is sideways.
He's a quality defender.
Listen,
but the way
he's he's one of the best box defenders in world football, and he's amazing at that. But the guy can't progress the ball.
Varane looks clumsy, and he doesn't look pretty on the eye. But he is so intelligent, and he helps his teammates so much that we are able to move the ball quicker with him.
No, we're not.
And if he's not the
I disagree completely. Varane.
Hold on. We play so much better with Varane. We play so much better.
I agree.
All right, but how much better is better? That's the thing, though. How much better is better? Like, what does the level go to?
Rafael Varane contributes to the ball being in the wrong zone for combination playing to progress the ball all of the time. He moves the ball into the wrong areas all of the time. He takes more touches on the ball than Harry Maguire. Because he looks elegant doing it, people won't even acknowledge it. Yeah? He's not.
Does he even look elegant doing it?
Varane, as a defender, I've always rated Varane. I've always rated Varane as a defender. But as a ball-playing centre-back, he's a detriment. This
is why we need Lissandro back in this team, and we need the Lissandro from all
but he's been poor defensively. That's the problem.
But that's the thing, Said. We need Lissandro's last season, bro, not this season. This season, we saw he was playing bad, and eventually we found out it was because of injury. But we wouldn't be talking about this right now, the poor progression from Varane, if we had Lissandro, because we seen Lissandro do that last season. He's faster with the ball. He picks out the right passes. And when he needs to progress the ball into the midfield by dribbling, which is moving up with the ball, he does that better than anyone in our defensive line, which is why we're seeing this. I agree with you guys. We're seeing this. Varane looks nice on the ball, but is he really doing what he's meant to be doing or what the manager thinks he could do? Which actually takes me back to the old conversation that we had when we started the show. He's misprofiling the players again. Because he's expecting them to do jobs that they're not qualified, and this is just another one.
I strongly disagree with the Varane thing. I think
before you come in, I want to bring a couple of super chat, and I'm going to bring you the graph. I think I found a graph. Eriksen is much better 10 than Bruno. It's Bruno fanboys that lie. He isn't. Plus, Eriksen plays with Højlund in the national team.
But when is the last time Eriksen played in the 10?
You know what's funny? You don't even see Eriksen play to even. Hey, kid, you just make stuff up. Who said Eriksen's not a good 10?
Basically,
I think it's what he's trying to say is that you want.
I said Eriksen.
No.
I said Eriksen's not a good 10 because he's not a 10 anymore. He's not a 10 anymore.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
How are we comparing Casemiro to Bruno? Bruno's not good. No one wanted this guy but us. He failed in Italy. He had to go back to Portugal. United fan delusional because of chance creation start. You know, in terms of progressing the ball, yeah.
That was a false statement, by the way. Hold on, that was a false statement. First of all, Man City wanted him. They were very close to signing him. And Jose wanted him at Spurs.
HKN has a problem actually listening to the conversation that's happening. But I'm sure Sai TV appreciates the super chat. The logic of people that said, take out Casemiro and our build-up play will be better with Amrabat. Yeah, you saw the same tactics, the same system. Amrabat come in, who's got higher pass completion and all of that. Did our build-up play get better? Did Amrabat make an impact? The answer is no, because it's never about one football player. That's the same argument I'm making about Bruno. Build-up play is not about one football player. It's about the whole bloody team. And the sooner Man United fans realise that, the better. If we had Ozil, we'd still have problems in build-up play.
Yeah,
if
but
you don't understand that, you don't understand football.
But quality comes in. I hear you. It's a team game, but quality comes in as well. Like Saeed, you remember, I was not very happy with the Casemiro signing in the first place because it didn't make sense to me. And I was catching a lot of smoke at the time because I said, look, Casemiro's top class, but it doesn't make sense. And quality matters. Maybe we haven't improved the build-up with Amrabat or this or that, but he's still better on the ball than Casemiro. And the same thing, if we get Ozil, we wouldn't play well, but he's still better than Bruno. And if we get many things right, it will end up clicking. At some point it will. But we need to start getting better players in the right position.
I mean, obviously Maguire, he's the one that I think for me progresses the ball better. But I feel like obviously nobody wants to hear Maguire praise. I think it's one of them where it's praise in isolation. But like I said to you, got Eriksen still there at the top. Lindelof, I think for me, does it a little bit better as well than Varane for me, even though I think he's still slow in that regards. But ultimately, though, this is the problem though. Tomorrow against Manchester City, I mean, Danny, how do you want him to play? How do you want us to set up? I don't know if you're there, Mo. But, let me ask you, Griggs, as well. How do you want us to set up? How do you want us to play tomorrow? Counter-attack? You know what I mean? How do you want us to play?
Mid-block counter-attack. That's simple. We can't do anything else. We really can't keep the ball against them because their press is going to suffocate us. They're one of the best pressing teams in world football. We can't even really go long because their center backs are going to wipe out everything because like Højlund, like Danny said, his weaknesses. Bro, Højlund's gonna go into aerial duels against Ruben Diaz. We're gonna take Ruben Diaz in that matchup 10 out of 10 times, not even 9 out of 10 times. So we're just gonna have to hope that you kind of just stop them, and then we just have to capitalize on our chances. We're gonna have to be execution, which I haven't seen this so far. To be honest, our execution has been terrible this season in the front three. So you just gotta hope that one Bruno pass actually finds space and they go and works pretty much, because that's gonna be the outlet ball. Will it work? Probably not. But what else can you do? He can't really set up the same way he did last year at home because Cancelo's not there anymore. So it's a completely different City team. I also think City might even let us have some of the ball, to be honest, depending on who starts. Because if you see like Doku starting, then I'm thinking Pep might actually just be trying to catch some transition with the spaces, kind of lure us in to kind of they're gonna try to bait us in. But if I see Grealish, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna play the position system because Grealish is more possession based player than Doku, obviously. So I don't know. I think with Ten Hag, I think he's gonna go pragmatic, and just hope that it somehow works. Out of possession, 4-4-2 mid block, and in possession, I don't even know what he wants. I just don't want to see a 3. If I see 3-1-6 again, I might actually punch my monitor. I'm not even joking. I generally hate that formation. I hate it so much. It makes no sense to me why he keeps using it. And I would think a manager of his standard, someone that the praise that he got, and someone that is supposedly came from the school of Cruyff football, would honestly realize that this 3-1-6 does not work. But he consistently persists with it. And if he does it again tomorrow, then Pep Guardiola, who's the greatest tactical manager ever, is just going to pick it apart. And you're going to see a whipping at Old Trafford.
Duffy, I mean, tomorrow, is there anything that gives you any confidence attack-wise? I mean, how do we get Højlund in the game? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm struggling, man, because he's not got goals this season. How do we get the best out of Højlund? Like, we need to have a serious conversation about that. I mean, Ante on the right, is it better for him? You know what I mean? Like, are we playing the ball over the top? Because we're not scoring goals as well, and we need to score tomorrow to win any chance to win the game.
I don't think tomorrow is the day that we try to find out how to get the best out of Højlund, because we couldn't get the best out of him Like there was
Yeah,
easier games to try to find the best to get the best out of Hoyland. Tomorrow is not one of them. Hoyland tomorrow is gonna have to be just another spoke in the wheel. You have to be a piece of that machine tomorrow, and that's what he's gonna be. I agree with Griggs when he says we have to play a mid to low block. We can't afford to fully park the bus against them because they will pass around us and we won't touch the ball. And at the same time, we can't come out and press them. But that mid to low block, you win the ball and try to make the right decision. That's the one thing that I have an issue with, and I have zero confidence because of it. Because I don't trust that we make the right decisions when we win the ball back. Because I do think they will give us spaces for us to exploit, especially with Rashford and Hoyland. Hoyland is not only good on the build up, he actually can run on what's it called, into the space on the shoulders of the defenders. So he's one of the few people that we have that can actually play multiple styles. He can play possession and he can play transition.
Yeah, he's good.
Do I trust that we have players that are going to be able to find him? No, especially not with Anthony being on the right. Because listen, I feel like I defended him a lot, but I can't see anything from him anymore to defend him for. He will be good tomorrow in terms of work rate, but when we get the ball, I'm just trying to imagine scenarios where we make the right decisions and be direct and quick with the football while doing the correct thing. And I really don't see how we do it. Bruno's going to do the same thing where he wins the ball. He's going to pick up his head. He's going to try to find a pass, but he's going to pick the right pass. And I don't know how many times he's going to make the right pass because we know Rashford is going to try to go for that run from the left side, maybe drifting a little bit into the middle like we did last season against City and Arsenal, where he's going to try to do that. Even Hoyland, he's going to interchange with him a few times. We've seen him make runs on and off the ball. I just don't think we'll do it. I don't trust. This is why I started the show, Said, if you remember, with our midfield. I think he's going to get the midfield wrong. And it's mainly because I'm actually at high doubt to when we talk about the midfield, I think I have some of my opinions, but I really don't know if I'm correct, if that's the right midfield or not. I look at the combos that we have in that midfield, and I just don't know how to put a correct one. My only thought was going to be putting 2 6s, playing a double pivot with a 10. And that 10 was always going to be Bruno, even though I have my reservations about Bruno, but it would always be Bruno. But then we also don't have Casemiro now tomorrow. And I thought it was going to really come down to our 2 6s being really resilient, winning the ball, finding the outlet, which is going to be Bruno, or them picking up the pass themselves, and we hit him on the counter. I just don't think he's going to put that correct combination. And I think we're going to see something like McTominay in the midfield, which is going to be absolutely horrific because McTominay will help us win the ball back. And people are going to be, look at the passion, look at the tackle, look at this, look at that. But the minute we win the ball, McTominay is not going to be there for whoever who has the ball to recycle or whatever to give him the pass. And we're going to run into that problem a lot. We're going to be winning the ball and we're going to be frustrated because we're going to lose it right away. And it's going to take us about 3 more minutes to win the ball back. It's going to be a common theme like we had it against Arsenal. Every time we give the ball away, whether it's from Onana or from the outfielders, it took us about 5 minutes to win the ball back because they're very good at keeping the ball. And these are the simple reasons why I really don't see what we're going to do tomorrow.
I mean, let me go to Michael. I mean, Hoyland tomorrow, the service. I mean, what's the best way for you to get the best out of Hoyland? You know what I mean, in terms of the service?
I can't. It's not crosses because he doesn't really know how to head the ball that well yet. It's gonna be in transition, kind of just how Rashford found him in that Galatasaray goal. The open space, or if he somehow he picks up the ball in open space and in a raise, I think unless he's on Kyle Walker's side, then it might be clipped. But if he finds a space on the other side, he could just run and carry the ball. That's pretty much it. We don't really crave for him, and when we do, he doesn't really like every chance that he's had when he gets the ball in the box. It's either at a tough angle or it's like it's off a deflection, and it's kind of hard for him to angle the ball to go in. But I don't really know how we can crave for him yet because the angles that Rashford does is sometimes that little clip pass over the top that works a couple times. Will it really work against City? Maybe not, but it's really hard for him. He's gonna have to put in the graveyard shift tomorrow and then hope that he can get the ball in open space and then he could capitalize on it. It's just gonna have to be that. But Anthony, for me, Anthony doesn't help him at all in terms of because Anthony's chance creation is usually the cross, and like I said, Hoyland doesn't really attack crosses well yet. That's probably the next step in his development that he hasn't done it yet. He needs someone that's gonna give him cutbacks. Like when Rashford, even that chance against that Eriksen chance against Copenhagen, right? Rashford went down the byline, played it to his feet, and then Hoyland laid it off to Eriksen. That was a good chance. Hoyland, all his chances have to come to his feet. That's pretty much it. Either the ball bounces and he shoots the first time shot, which he knows how to do, or it stays his feet. Because when he gets the ball to his feet, I trust him. 9 out of 10 times, he will make the right decision, whether it's to shoot because his ball tracking is really good, or he's gonna lay it off and create a good chance. He knows how to do that, and that helps against City because typically Martial is another player that's always been successful against City. And what is he? He's a ball to feet striker.
Is Martial the player to play this one? Because
absolutely not, bro. Martial's finish looks horrible, by the way. Every time he comes on the pitch, he looks slower than the people that have been running around for 75 minutes.
It's quite scary, you know, man. Martial, I got gassed in buying away. I was like, yo, he might be back, yo. He might, you know, he looks a bit silky. Bro, he looks so like physically depleted, man. It's quite sad to see, man. And obviously that's why the manager hasn't used him this season, you know what I mean, in that kind of role. I mean, there isn't much else out there. Pelestri, he's not going to be used. I think Mount, I mean, Danny Mount, you know, high pressing game. Is he the one to look out for, Danny? You know, high pressing game?
No, because it's about the collective. The Tottenham game, look at the goals that we conceded. Trying to defend too much space. We weren't compact. We weren't organised. The communication was poor. The Arsenal game, one through ball between Anthony and our widest midfielder, and they had a 2-on-1. Our defence gets dragged apart. They score from a cutback. Brighton, same thing. Like last year when we beat them, he came up with a good tactical scheme that worked. He needs to do the same thing this time round. And this time round, we have to stay compact. We have to stay compact. One pass shouldn't be. Like, I see other teams, they play. A team will make a line breaking pass, but because teams are compact and organised, they can recover. With us, one line breaking pass and we're done. It's because of the way the manager sets up. I'll be honest with you. It's because of the way that he sets up. I want to see 2 central midfielders. You need to defend in a 4-2-3-1 or something like that. And to get the best out of Højlund, you need bodies around him. You leave him isolated, he's done. You can't leave him isolated against that type of, you know, these quality fullbacks you're asking him to do way too much. If we're compact and we're organised, when we recover the ball, we'll have bodies close to each other. You want to play the long distance game? You want to stretch? You want to force player to run 20 yards backwards, 20 yards forwards? Yeah, good luck with that. We don't even counter-attack well anymore. You know what I'm saying to you? So I need the manager to turn up with a good tactical scheme, and then I need the players to turn up and actually perform. Yeah. If you get a chance, usually when we do well against City, we don't create lots of chances. We create 4 chances, we take 2 of them.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, we didn't really create chances against City, yeah.
So I pray big game Rashford turns up. I pray big game. I pray. I just pray, bro. Like, I don't have no faith.
That's what it is, you know, man.
Tomorrow. They just need to turn up.
You know what?
Simple.
I think that's the next question I was going to say to Adam. Like, do you fear the worst, Adam, in terms of like, you know, the way we are now and way Man City could potentially play? Like, you know, Copenhagen had a few good chances in that first couple of minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
Right, let me just say this. I apologize for interrupting you. I put this on my Twitter account. If a better team whoops us 3 or 4-0 in that first 20 minutes, the Copenhagen, they played okay, but our shape without the ball was shocking. Saeed.
I know.
Was shocking. And a lot of it's down to the manager's tactics. Shocking. If we do that tomorrow, we're getting slapped. Yeah. If we've got if we're letting out just the center of the team just be open, we're getting slapped. Sorry, Adam. Go ahead, bro.
Guys, before you carry on, I gotta go. Big up Said for having me, man. Big up Danny, Adam, Griggs. Big up to everyone. Make sure you guys smash the like button before you guys leave. Said is giving you guys content 2-3 times a day. That's the least you can pay him, bro. Pay your rent with the likes. That's all it is. Thank you for having me, Said. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, bro.
See you in a bit, bro. See you in a bit. Yeah, you know, I mean, Adam. Yeah, just you know, the way Copenhagen played. You know, bro.
Your question, do I fear the worst? I fear the worst, bro. I don't even know how I would set up. I don't think there's a good. The thing is with Man City is they're a very good team. Like, we could be a very good United team and we could lose. Like, this is a very top team we're going against. Like, they just want to treble. They have good players. They have a good manager. So even if we were good and confident, we could get slapped because it happens. That's the game. But at the moment, we are shocking. The manager's making some terrible decisions. The players are all either poor or very, very poor. There's no in between. The thing, I would go as, you know, old school British football, you know, like 4-5-1. Like that one is alone, just stuff though. And you know what? I was talking with Charlie earlier. Is Fred Manchester. I think we need 12 players, man. We need a midfield diamond in the front three. We need something like ridiculous, because I don't see any other way, to be honest. I think we need someone like Eriksen or Martial, but where do they fit in? Because we will be defending that game. And my thinking is we need someone that when we win the ball, that can actually control it and hold it just for a few seconds, just to alleviate the pressure, just to help us get back in shape, or get a foul, for example, because City are going to press, just to reduce the pressure on our position. And Martial does that very well. Eriksen could do it, but then again, we need people with stamina that are going to run and be compact. And it's
who does have best power in our team? Anthony. He's the only one. I think Anthony's the only one that can he's actually really good at drawing fouls. Like that's probably that's one of his best attributes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stretch and play as well. Stretch and play.
Exactly. But it's just I don't know, man. I think Casemiro, I don't think he's going to play, but I'd play Mount, Amrabat, Eriksen, Bruno's going to play. But I can also hear the argument for McTominay playing. I can see it. Like just because today is not about the performance really. Today is about getting something and not getting spun. So it says a lot about where we are, by the way. Yeah.
Would you play Hannibal tomorrow?
Yeah, I thought about it, and I don't think it's about because Hannibal and Bruno, for the game that we are going for tomorrow, Hannibal runs just as much, if not more. So it could be. And he will be pumped up. Like you can expect like passion.
He's gonna kick someone in the leg by accident.
Exactly. He'll get a
the only thing with Hannibal, I was talking about with Staffy yesterday, maybe for the rare occasion that Bruno gets dropped, like Amrabat, Mount, Hannibal, because that's all legs, right? They're just gonna run all 90 minutes. But then they don't have KDB this time. And usually when we play against City, they always have KDB, and we always use one of our midfielders to man mark KDB. That's always Fred. That was Fred's job in the derby. His only job. Forget about on the ball. Your job is to make sure KDB does not get the ball and he has no space to breathe. So now we're going up against a Man City that has no KDB. So our midfield is gonna have to be a completely different game plan because I don't think he's gonna use anyone to man mark Alvarez or Foden because he's not gonna give them that kind of respect that you give a Kevin De Bruyne. So that's why I was thinking about using Hannibal, but I'm like KDB's not playing, so then it's just more. Your midfield has to be more of a collective unit, and they're gonna have to pick up each other's spaces. Communication.
Yeah. Would you put someone on Rodri? Because I think he's like the.
You can't really stop Rodri, man. He's just a machine, bro. I think one of them where you it's difficult.
He used Eriksen on Rodri last year, right? In the derby, I think that was Eriksen's job.
Yeah,
you could put.
Yeah, we had extra man.
But then he just solved it by having Bernardo Silva drop deep.
That's it.
Quality. They have too much quality. And we are. We
just gotta pray, man. We just gotta go to church some more.
I like the idea of the 4-5-1 though. Like I'd go Hannibal, McTominay, and Amrabat.
Something just
and force them to go wide, cross, and just stop cutbacks.
Yeah,
that would be the focus for me. And then I would play Martial left wing. I would the other wing and
because if we force him to cross, Maguire and Varane are not losing a header in the box. Maguire and Varane are two of the best aerial dual center backs in the Premier League.
Yeah, but they have Haaland. Like it's a good fight. Like he's.
Honestly, I trust Varane and Maguire to deal with Haaland in there.
You're right.
I just don't defend the team structure to stop cutbacks. Let's not forget, man.
City
bro, that Haaland cutback 20th minute is like just ringing in my ear right
now. Cutback kings, and we have a manager who has his DM man mark and get taken out of position. Then the other midfielders don't recover. So that's what I can't. So, I just want us to be respectful.
Well.
I want to look at the game.
McTominay playing. McTominay has no idea how to deal with cutbacks at all. His awareness.
He doesn't. But I just want to see us be cohesive and put up a fight and be respectable.
That's it, competitive. On that note, predictions. I've gone for City to win this 2-0. I don't give United a chance in this game. Danny, prediction?
Oh, all that negativity, 2-1 Man United, bro. It's a derby, man. Come on, we did.
Yeah. Okay, 2-1 Man United. Griggs?
2-1 Man United. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. There's no shot about that. I was thinking like maybe 1-0, like snatch and grab, but we're continuing to go by some stupidity. So I'll go 2-1.
Hey.
I'm gonna say Rashford winning. That's what I'm going with.
Like last season.
all the last few big games we had against Liverpool or City, I tried to be like optimist and say I expect the worst, but I'll go with a United win. And we got smashed every single time. I made that prediction.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it. I just want to have my pride left, some pride left after. Even if we lose, it happens. You can lose to City, but I just don't want us to be shocking and embarrassing. But I'll go with a 2-2 draw, trying to be. But just like my, there's no way we're keeping a clean sheet. Even if we try, we'll score an own goal just to make sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Big up to everybody who's locked in. Make sure you like the video. We've just got under 400 likes, so let's smash the like button on the video, people. That'll be amazing. Griggs, been a pleasure, bro. Big up to you, mate.
Yes, sir. Always my underscore right there at Mike_Griggs26 on Twitter, and then Griggs Talks for YouTube. I dropped the UCL review on Thursday. I got an NFL video coming out tomorrow, and then obviously match reaction after the game tomorrow. And hopefully it's a good match reaction and not me wanting to cuss out every single player on that pitch.
Bro, 100%. Danny, big up to you for coming on, bro.
No, appreciate you having me. I'll do a match reaction. That's my Twitter handle there. Match reaction tomorrow. Hopefully. I need to go watch the boxing, man. When's Tyson Fury fighting?
Yeah, I'm doing a watch along in a bit now. I'm doing it. So
I don't want to go to bed thinking about football, man. That's what I was just thinking.
And Michael, I just have a question for Mike. Do you have the Zone? Is it on the Zone to get the fights or?
No, BT Box Office.
I just use a stream online.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's on ESPN Plus, probably the fight. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'll have a look at it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Thanks, Saeed, again, man. Much love, man.
Yeah. Big up to you, man. Big up to you. And yeah, last said I'll be here in 45 minutes, guys. Go on the pin chat. I'll see you in 45 minutes, man. It's been a good debate show. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, Derby Day. It's literally sink or swim.